Marvin Karlton Rainwater, was an American country and rockabilly singer and songwriter who had several hits during the late 1950s, including Gonna Find Me a Bluebird, and Whole Lotta Woman, a UK #1 record. He was known for wearing Native American-themed outfits on stage and was 25% Cherokee. Biography, early life and rise to fame. Rainwater was born in Wichita, Kansas, to Stella and Cicero Percy Rainwater, and grew up during the Great Depression. As a child, instead of listening to the Grand Ole Opry with his father, he took classical piano lessons, which ended after he lost part of his right thumb to a work accident as a teenager. He originally trained to be a veterinarian, but after some time in the Navy during World War II took up the guitar. He became fascinated with Roy Acuff and started playing and writing songs. With his brothers, he played concerts around Virginia. He sometimes wore a buckskin jacket and headband. Rising guitarist Roy Clark worked with Rainwater and together they cut a few demos for Four Star Records. Pop singer Teresa Brewer turned one of his compositions, I Gotta Go Get My Baby, into a big hit. Others were overdubbed and released on budget record labels. Rainwater got his big break in the music business when he performed on Arthur Godfrey's programs. He won first place on Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts on May 9, 1955. He had a regular role on ABC TV's Ozark Jubilee for several years in Springfield, Missouri beginning in 1955. He signed with MGM Records and recorded a series of songs for the label, including peppy numbers like Hot and Cold. Such songs were showcases for Rainwater's voice, and his energy and versatility led him to record rockabilly. Height of his career, Rainwater was one of country's most noteworthy stars in the late 1950s, when his good looks and baritone voice made him popular. One of the first country songs he recorded was Gonna Find Me a Bluebird, which he wrote. Released in 1957, the song became a big country pop crossover hit, making Rainwater among the first country singers to appeal to a pop market. The song reached number 5 on the country chart and 18 on the pop chart. It sold 1 million copies by 1957, and gave Rainwater his first gold record. During the song's success, Rainwater relocated to the New Jersey-New York area. The Majesty of Love was a duet with Connie Francis, which also sold over 1 million copies. His next single, So You Think You Got Troubles, was a successful follow-up on the country charts, but not on the pop charts. His self-penned Whole Lotta Woman reached UK #1 for 3 weeks in April and May 1958. A second UK single, I Dig You Baby, made number 19 in June 1958. Nothing Needs Nothing missed the UK Top 30 chart, but returned him to the US country chart. Rainwater performed and toured throughout the rest of the 1950s. In 1959, he added 3 more gold records, My Love Is Real, My Brand of Blues, and Half Breed, all sold in excess of 1 million records. In 1959, Rainwater recorded another Loudermilk song, The Pale-Faced Indian. His original version went unnoticed, but later efforts by Don Fardon and Paul Revere and the Raiders under the title Indian Reservation were hits. Marvin recorded a number of songs with his little sister Patty Rainwater, who was almost 12 years his junior. They recorded songs like Down in the Cellar as well as some of Patty's compositions like, Because I'm a Dreamer, and Two Fools in Love. His voice began to give out, and he developed calluses on his vocal cords. As a result, Rainwater and MGM Records parted ways in 1960. He went into brief retirement to rest his voice and then recorded sporadically for Warwick Records, although without any hits. In the 1960s, he recorded for a series of record labels including United Artists, Warner Brothers and Sonat, and started his own record company called Brave Records. Later life, in the 1970s, Rainwater developed throat cancer, from which he slowly recovered, and moved to Attribution, Minnesota. He appeared occasionally at rockabilly festivals in Europe and was still loved by many fans. Rainwater was the 73rd inductee into the Rockabilly Hall of Fame. He died of heart failure on September 17, 2013, in Minneapolis. Marvin had 5 children. Jimmy and Judy by his first wife Charline. Wade, Laura Lee and Barbie by his second wife Barbara. Legacy. Rainwater's song Gambling Man was covered by Mike Ness on his 1999 album, Under the Influences. So You Think You've Got Troubles was covered by Harry Nilsson, as evidenced on his 1966 Spotlight on Nilsson compilation album. Gonna Find Me a Bluebird was covered by Petula Clark in 1957 and by Steve Young on his 1969 album, Rock Salt and Nails. Hot and Cold was featured on Bob Dylan's radio show, Theme Time Radio Hour. Discography, singles, albums, 1957 Songs by Marvin Rainwater, 1958 Sings with a Heart, with a Beat, 1960 Sing for You, 1962 Gonna Find Me a Bluebird, 1963 Marvin Rainwater, 1985 Rockin' Rollin', 1970 Country's Favorite Singer, 1972 Gets Country Fever, Notes. References, Hitbune, Joel. Top 40 Hits. New York, Billboard Books. External links, Marvin Rainwater's official website, Marvin Rainwater at the Internet Movie Database, Marvin Rainwater and the Rockabilly Hall of Fame bio, 1998 Minnesota Public Radio interview, discography.